Coming to a comfortable seat, I sit on a cushion, and particularly as we get into the cooler months, or just generally, I love to make a blanket roll sausage, which I just tuck underneath my knees. So what it does is just take a little bit of pressure off the knees. If the hip flexors are tight, often the knees try and compensate, and we want to support and look after the knees, particularly as we go into later stages of life. And what I also find is it's quite nice because it just is a cushion between the ankle bones and the thighs. So that was picked up from a yin workshop with Norman Blair. So thank you. So to start, just rub the hands together, bring a little bit of warmth and energy between the hands. So just taking a breath and letting that breath go. And we begin to settle tall spine. So lifting through the top of the head. The chin is actually slightly tucked and down. So just elongating the 7 cervical vertebrae at the back of the neck. So a light hold on the abdomen, a comfortable seat. So bring the hands together. So the thumbs are touching the breastbone. And there's a sense that the shoulders are back and down, and each elbow is reaching slightly to the side. So when we begin a Kundalini class, we use a mantra which places us in the sound current, the energetic current. It's a protection mantra. So we repeat. Ad Guren Name, Jugad Guren Name, Sat Guren Name, Siri Gurudeven Name. Ad Guren Name, Jugad Guren Name, Sat Guren Name, Siri Gurudeven Name. Ad Guren Name, Jugad Guren Name, Sat Guren Name, Siri Gurudeven Name. So we repeat that 3 times. I actually often repeat that mantra when I get in the car to drive, just to focus myself and also place myself in a protective sound current. This was advice given to me by a friend and teacher. So we open with that mantra, and then the kriya I would like to share is a kind of foundational kriya, I believe, to the thinking within Kundalini Yoga, because it focuses on the energy of the spine. So it's a spine flexibility series. If we think of the spine from the base of the sitting bones all the way up into the spine as our main flow of energy, the Ida Pingala channels each side of the spinal column, the central energy channel, the Sushumna Nadi. So it's largely taken seated. So your comfortable seat is whatever it is. If you need cushions under your bottom, if you need to support your knees as I do, particularly if you run or you cycle and you have tight hip flexors, sometimes I sit straddling a bolster because that's more comfortable. So the mantra within this kriya is Sat Nam. Within Kundalini, Sat Nam is a form of greeting, which translates as the authentic me greets and says hello to the authentic you. So that is the authentic Sat Nam greeting, beyond name, the roles that we inhabit and play in life. So we often begin by also saying Sat Nam. So taking a breath. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. we again repeat 3 times, and the subtlety of the note around the sat is that we want to sound the T with the tongue making contact with the roof of the palate of the mouth, which is a sort of stimulation point. So we are ready to begin. Sat Nam. So to begin, the first exercise, we take what is called easy pose, so we're just sitting cross-legged. You may have a dominant leg that sits in the front. Mine is typically the right. Sometimes I like to change it, but the hands are just resting lightly on the knees, the shoulders are relaxed. And we're going to inhale, bring the chest forward, and exhale, flex the spine backwards. So inhale, so we're just starting to warm up the spine. So inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. And we want the head to retain a kind of level, so no kind of bobbing and jerking of the head. So we're going to repeat this 108 times at your own pace. So ready to begin. So 108 for me is something like 3 minutes. So if you lose count, it really doesn't matter. And you may prefer to just put a count on your timer or have a track for about 3 minutes. When we come to the end of the exercise, we just take a deep inhale, keep the spine nice and straight, just gently hold, and then exhale and relax. And just after that exercise, coming to rest, I like to put my hands, my right over my left in Buddha Mudra, and just place the hands at the lap. I find that means my shoulders can relax. So just breathe long and deep with a gentle inquiry Has anything changed? How does my energy feel after that gentle movement? So still arriving in the body and arriving in the space. So while you're sitting for a couple of minutes, I'm just going to show you that movement from the side. So with my spine as straight as it can be, it's an inhale to the front, exhale, flexing the spine back. And it's very natural to feel that your spine has a zone which is very easy to flex, and some stickier bits. So try not to kind of force and push into that flexible bit that always plays ball. Just try and notice the spine as a whole chain of vertebrae. Okay, so that's exercise number 1. So for the second exercise, I'm just going to move my cushion aside, and we're going to come into a position called rock pose, so kneeling, if kneeling is comfortable. So I'm on carpet, but if the knees are sensitive, by all means put an extra blanket layer. If it feels very compressed between your thighs and your heels, it can actually be quite nice to put a nice folded blanket or a cushion behind, just to ease pressure on the tops of the feet. So we're going to actually repeat a similar movement, the spine flex. Maybe you'll feel it in a slightly different area. So the hands are just going to be relaxed on the thighs in a place that enables your shoulders to roll back and down. We refine that tall spine, that gentle cord, ever so slight tucking of the chin to stretch the back of the neck into alignment. So we're going to take a spinal flex, inhaling forward, exhaling back, exactly as before, with the head retaining that kind of level horizon. But this time we are going to repeat 108, so roughly 3 minutes of movement, whichever works for you. And if you can handle it, what we want to do is start to repeat inside our mind the mantra Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. So if you can maintain the 108 gradual count and the Sat Nam at the same time, then hats off, do that. Otherwise, I think it's quite nice to play a track for 3 minutes with the Sat Nam mantra supporting, and just time the exercise. So we'll begin. So just repeating inside the mind, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, my authentic soul self. A greeting for Peridot is here to support. Okay, so we begin. Now. So at the end of the 108 counts, we take a deep inhale, spine straight, and hold the breath. And if we can, we just apply the root lock. So the root lock, we are holding the muscles of the anus, the perineum, we're pulling the navel back towards the spine and zipping up and in. So we're kind of stopping ourselves pooping, peeing, and trying on a pair of tight jeans to just hold the energy in, literally locking the root. We've got a stopper at the bottom of this lovely channel of energy in the spine. So we just apply that gently while we're holding our breath, perhaps to the edge, and then when it's natural, just let go. And again, we're just going to relax for 2 minutes. So if it's comfortable to stay in rock pose, great. You can take that nice relaxed Buddha hand posture if that suits, or do feel free to move, have a little leg stretch, come back into easy pose. So I found if I used my fingers to count units of 10 and kept track of the units of 10, I could manage the 108 if I were intoning the Sat-Nam at the same time. It's quite an intriguing sort of, it takes some concentration, so your mind actually can't think of much else. But I'd rather we're getting good movement in the spine. That's the most important thing. So if the counting or the Sat-Namming starts to befuddle you, then just let it go. So for the next exercise, I'm going to reinstate my blanket sausage and come back into easy pose, cross-legged. So this one is called the spinal twist. So what we're going to do is just release the shoulders a little bit. Stiffness. And then the fingers are going to come in front of the shoulders and the thumbs to the back. And I have a very interesting phenomena of menopausal slight stiff shoulder at the moment, so we do our best. But we're going to take 26 spinal twists, so inhaling, exhaling. So just allowing the neck to stay in alignment with the general spine, so we're not throwing the head, we're just keeping the arms in a nice parallel to the horizon as much as we can, as is comfortable with the set of the shoulders. So we're going to do 26 of those together, and then after that we will just relax for 1 minute. So 26, then we'll take an inhale at the center, exhale, and then just relaxing with the hands in the lap. So counting 26. Inhaling, holding at the top, and just applying that zip zip root lock, so anus, perineum, navel to spine, holding in and up with your inhale, and then relax and just letting the arms unfold and just re-find your lap, and just take a moment. Interesting, yeah, I haven't been doing that enough. I can almost feel there's a bit of a kind of, a bit of lung friction in the centre. That twist of the spine this way, just in a nice gentle rotation. I think we need it. Okay. So again, an easy pose, spine nice and straight. We're going to take what is called a bear grip. So if you bring, this is my left arm coming up and my left palm is facing out towards you, and then I bring the right arm in and the right palm is facing towards each other, so the two hands are meeting. So I want that meeting of hands to sit at my heart level, in the centre of the chest, and I'm actually going to grip hand to hand, so I'm going to curl my fingers so I form a little lock. So that is your bear grip. And then what we're going to do is a seesawing motion. So trying to keep the movement of the arms in synchronicity. We're going to go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay? And then when we finish, we're going to do 26 of these in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then we come to the end of our 26. We're going to inhale. We're going to hold with that nice root log at the bottom. Then we're going to exhale, letting the breath go, relaxing the belly. And on empty, at the end of the exhale, we're just going to pull, put some tension between the two arms. So each elbow is seeking the sides of the room, pulling away from each other. So there's a tension that you should feel across the front of your chest and in the shoulders. So if you have beautifully manicured long nails, that can get a bit diggy, but just pull. So we're going to hold our breath out and we're going to pull the lock. And then we're going to relax for 1 minute. So 26, so finding your bear grip, left hand, right hand, make that lock, and off we go. Pulling the lock at the Mula Bandha, exhaling, relaxing the belly, and then when the breath is out, pull. And release. So maybe that was something like 10 seconds, whatever is comfortable to hold on empty. So we come to the end, we take an inhale, we apply Mula Bandha at the base while we're holding that inhale, then we let the breath go with an exhale, the body relaxes, and then on empty, pull the lock for your arms at the heart centre. Tension, 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 holding, holding, holding that tension as long as you can. Feeling the pull across the shoulders and the chest, and then let it go. And we're just going to relax for 30 seconds after that one. So any little wriggles that you need, very revealing where your shoulder carries your stuff, whether that's physical stuff, a laptop bag, the weights of the world. Okay, I think I need to feed Peridot and then we'll come back. Okay, pussycat fed, dispatched to the garden. So we're back in easy pose, and then this should be kind of familiar. So we're going to do the spinal flex that we met right at the beginning again, but this time it's quite important that the arms are straight, and I hope you can notice that this just moves where in the spine the flexibility is happening. So we're going to do 108, approximately 3 minutes if you're not a counter, and then when we come to stillness after 108, we just take that inhale, concentrating on the straightness of the spine, zipping up the root lock, so the anus, perineum, navel held gently to the back of the spine, zipping up and in, holding the breath on inhale, then exhaling to relax, and then just coming to a comfortable seat. So whenever you're resting between poses, the hands can be in Gyan Mudra with the thumb and the first finger touching, making a little circle, just resting on the knees. It's kind of an open air canary posture, or in the lap in that right over left Buddha mudra position. I quite like that one. So arms straight, spine straight, 108. Spine straight, inhale, holding the inhale, applying the root lock, the Mula Bandha, chin gently tucked, hold, 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 and relax. So maybe bringing the hands into that Gyan Mudra, first finger and thumb touching, so just resting. Long, slow, deep breathing. Perceiving the energy or any changes to how you feel. So we're in easy pose, so the hands are on the knees as before, and this time we're going to take shoulder shrugs. So keeping the spine quite long and the head fairly stable, we're going to bring the shoulders up on the inhale and exhale on the down. It's fairly vigorous action. This really gets into the nitty-gritty of any holding in the shoulders. Typically we can hold anger for ourselves and for others along the shoulder line. So just finding your pace. So we're going to do that for 2 minutes. So inhale up, exhale down. We come to the end, we inhale, we're going to hold the shoulders, a real kind of hold, scrumple the shoulders as high as they can go, lots of tension in them. And we're going to inhale, holding that inhale for 15 seconds with the shoulders up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, hold, 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 and then we're going to relax and then just take a moment to absorb that exercise. So we begin for 2 minutes. So that finale of shoulders up on the inhale, deep inhale, holding the shoulders up, holding the breath in for 15 seconds or as long as you can, towards 15 seconds. It's quite intense. You feel like you've built a lot of heat. I can feel my lactic in the shoulders at a physical level, but a lot of heat coming up in the body. So then we just relax and we take a little moment. Oh, it's a juicy one. It is for me. So just relaxing, hands in the lap, resting on the knees, Gyan Mudra. First finger and thumb touching, or palms down, or Buddha Mudra. Hands resting in the lap. Just breathing deeply, just balancing or perceiving your energy. So the next exercise is a neck roll. So we're in easy pose with the spine straight, and then we're just going to dip the chin to the chest and roll the neck. Eyes can be closed or open. Round to the left, finding the other shoulder, and the chin comes round for a complete circle. So we're going to go to the left 5 times, and then when we come back to the centre after 5, we're just going to begin again and go circles to the right and around 5 times. So always respect for the neck. It's kind of the first time we're meeting it directly within this kriya. Noticing any pops and cracks. Completing my 5, and my head comes back to the centre. Take a pause, and then I reverse. I'm coming to the centre. I'm just going to inhale. Just gently hold the lock at the base of the body that we've talked about. Hold, 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 and release. So the next exercise, we're going to revisit the bear lock. So left palm is out, right palm is in. We have that clasp between them. This time, last time we met, it was more at the heart level, so just bring it up to level with the throat. And this is a breath exercise, so we're not moving the arms this time. So we're going to go inhale, and then we're going to hold the breath in for 10 seconds while we pull the arms, the bear lock, and we're going to also pull on our root lock, the Mula Bandha, at the same time. So we inhale, hold and pull, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to exhale, relaxing everything a little bit. The breath is out, and then on empty, we're going to hold again for 10. Lock and pull, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to inhale, bring the arms up, Again, hold, pull, lock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, relax everything a little bit. And then on empty, pull the lock and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the exercise. We're going to repeat it 3 times. So if you've got it, just follow me, give it your best shot. So bear lock, throat, inhale. Exhale. Pull. Inhale, bring it up. Pull the locks. Exhale, arms stay there. On empty, pull the locks. And second round. Exhale. Empty. Inhale up. Exhale. Hold. Last time. Inhale at throat. Exhale to empty. Pull. Inhale above. Pull. Exhale to empty. Final pull. Going to go once again because the cat came in. Naughty distraction. So inhale at the throat. Pull. Exhale, relaxing. Pull on empty. Inhale. Exhale, empty. Hold. And relax, bringing the arms down, releasing any tension in the fingers and just settling and seeing how you're going. So we're looking for a repeat of 3 cycles of that exercise. Taking the bear grip at the throat, inhaling, holding for 10 seconds, pulling your bear grip and holding your root lock, then exhaling, relaxing a touch, and then holding on empty for 10 seconds, pulling the bear grip and the root lock, and then inhaling, taking both arms in the bear lock above your head, inhaling and holding for 10 seconds, and then pulling, applying the root lock, And then the final fourth step is the exhale. The arms are still above the head. When breath is out, we're holding for 10 seconds, pulling the bear lock and the root. And then we let the arms settle in the lap. So the final exercise, we're back in a seated position on the knees. So I'm going to place that cushion just to give me a little rise off my heels and straighten my spine. So this is a Satnam Kriya exercise to finish off. So we're going to interlace the fingers, everything apart from the 2 index fingers, which are pointed straight out. And then we're going to cross the thumbs. So crossing the right thumb over the left has a masculine energy, crossing the left over the right a feminine energy, but whichever feels comfortable to you, and sometimes that's a case of in the moment, on the day. So the arms are going to go as straight as they can. Ideally, neck is in a kind of true aligned position and the arms are snuggling into the ears on each side. So there is a reach upwards, so we've got a nice straight spine. Try not to flare and pop the ribs too much, try and just tuck them into a comfortable position. And then we're going to inhale, exhale, and every time we inhale, exhale, inhale, we repeat the mantra Sat, and on the exhale we pull the navel back to the spine, Nam. So it's Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam. So if I just turn to the side, hopefully you can see a little bit better. So I'm crossing my fingers, my index are pointed up to the sky, my spine is straight, my neck is kind of in between the arms as much as the shoulder set allows. The thumbs are crossed whichever way you fancy. And we're going Sat, Nam, 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 Sat, Nam. So on the inhale, we're breathing in, the chest is filling. On the exhale, Nam, the belly is just going back towards the spine. So we create this rhythm. So we're going to continue that for 2 minutes. And then when we get to the end, we're going to inhale the breath, pull the locks. So applying Mula Bandha, and also tucking the chin if we can to create the neck lock. So this seal of the energy. We've been working gradually up through the spine. So the Mula Bandha, the anus, the perineum, the navel to the spine, zipping in and up, stopping yourself pooping, peeing, trying on some tight jeans. And then the neck lock. The spine is straight, so we've got some length through the 7 cervical vertebrae. The chin is slightly tucked. It's almost as if you had a t-shirt collar at the back of your neck. You're stretching it so it's smooth out the wrinkles by just tucking your chin. Gives you a slight double chin. If you can't manage both, don't worry, just go for the root lock. So we take up the position, index fingers pointing up, nice straight spine, good set of the arms, chin is kind of level for now, and we begin for 2 minutes. So Sat, Nam, 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 Sat. So following the last Satnam mantra exercise, we come into relaxation, so lying back on the mat, on your back. A bolster under the knees can be nice, covering yourself with a blanket for warmth. Just rolling the arms out to the sides. Palms can be up or face down or comfortably on the body. Just making sure the ankles and the feet are relaxed, rolling out to each side, softening or closing the eyes. So just breathing deeply and relaxing for anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes following the exercise. So after relaxation, it can be nice to close your practice, just finding your way slowly back to a seat on your knees or an easy pose. Just bringing yourself back to awakeness, but still in the residue of the practice. So hands to the chest in prayer position, thumbs just touching the breastbone, spine is straight, chin is slightly dipped. Just taking a couple of deep breaths. And we've finished the practice with a repetition of Sat Nam, a long Sat, with the T, the tongue touching the palate, the roof of the mouth, Nam. So we repeat that 3 times together to close. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. And then just bringing the palms to the third eye for pure thoughts, to the mouth, pure words, to the throat, to the heart. Thank you.